If you're wondering what this Vancouver Canucks team is at the moment after this last game against the Minnesota Wild, are they actually a good team? There's never an easy win in hockey. This team could be the absolute worst in the league, have a horrible injury before a game, go up against one of the hottest teams in the NHL with the best goaltender in the NHL at the moment, and we'll pick up a 4-2 win with young players scoring. We'll get into those goals later, but how's it going, guys? I am CanucksLand. Welcome back to This Week in CanucksLand, where the Canucks won a game against a good team. We'll take the wins when we take them, especially if the young guys are scoring. And there's a certain young guy that I'm very excited about for getting his first career goal. You know who that is. How's it going, guys? I'm CanucksLand. Welcome back to This Week's CanucksLand, where we go through all the games from this past week, where we're starting off with the game against the Colorado Avalanche. We'll move into the game against the Utah Mammoth, and we'll finish off with the game against the Minnesota Wild. Only 3 this week. That's good. Let's get going. Before we get going, I just want to apologize for one thing. Gavin McKenna's a left winger. I know that. I should have been. The funny part is, I had Gavin McKenna pulled up. I can see left wing right beside him. I can see him right now. This is the same thing I was reading. This is just a bad mistake by me, and the fact that I uploaded the video without correcting the mistake, that's on me. I apologize. And yeah, I'll try to be better. I should be better. 100% I should be better. There's no excuses. I would say, oh, I'm tired, I don't have enough time. No excuses. If you're going to do a topic, you got to make sure you're well-versed on that topic, and I didn't make sure I was doing that. So, just wanted to apologize for that before we get into this video, but let's hop into the first game against the Colorado Avalanche, where as we start off against one of the toughest teams in the league. Yeah, it's just crazy. Just, can the Vancouver Canucks win? I mean, we beat the Colorado Avalanche. Oh, no, we didn't beat them, but we gave them a good fight last time. Can we give them a good fight? Well, we'd start off with a good one, as Linus Karlsson would open up with a goal. As Archie Baines would find him in front and go forehand, backhand, he would put it in, and the Vancouver Canucks would have a 1-0 lead until the greatest player in the world would strike. Yes, I said it right. I think that at this current moment, I do think Connor McDavid is the best skilled player of all time, but at this current moment of playing and how every player's playing, Nathan MacKinnon is the greatest player in the world right now, would be left all wide open in front. As a shot from the point would go in, it would be tipped, I'm pretty sure, on the way to the net. It would bounce off the pad, and guess who's there? Nathan MacKinnon. He would put it in, and they would tie the game. And that's not great for the Vancouver Canucks, and it would continue to get worse as Gabriel Landeskog would find Brock Nelson on a break. He would skate in, and he would fire it past Kevin Lankinen, and the Colorado Avalanche would take a 2-1 lead, and they would add one more as Gabriel Landeskog would pick up his second assist of the night as he would find Nathan MacKinnon for a one-timer. He would fire it past Kevin Lankinen, and the Vancouver Canucks would lose 3-1. A very easy, simple game to go through. Four goals, nice and easy, nice and quick, and we would lose to the Colorado Avalanche, and honestly, I expected it. It's the best team in the league right now, and we aren't going to beat them. I think that if we give them a good fight, like we did last time, it's definitely great, and I think Elias Pettersson had a great game. I understand that a lot of Elias Pettersson doubters are upset about the nitpicking of, like, well, look how good he did in the ice and stuff, and like all these advanced analytics and all that stuff comparative to is he actually putting up points. I think Elias Pettersson's had a better season than a lot of people give him credit for, and I definitely do think that some people are just reaching at times about being upset about Elias Pettersson. I understand it, but when he's been one of the best defensive forwards in the league and he's putting up the most points on the team, this is exactly what you want from Elias Pettersson. Do we want more points from him? I do think I want more points from him, but how he's been defensively, if you can shut down a first line and get 1 point, and that 1 point make a big difference, what more can you ask for from your first line center? That's all I gotta say. But yeah, Elias Pettersson played so good against Nathan MacKinnon. It was a good, nice thing to see from this game, but we got nominated by the best team in the league, and that's going to happen when you're the worst team in the league at the moment. I'm not sure if we were worst at that point, but I'm pretty sure we slipped into first before this Utah game. But let's move right into it. Let's hop into the game against the Utah Mammoth, where the Utah Mammoth would open the scoring as Mikhail Sergachev would get the puck from the point on the power play. He would fire it, and it would bounce off a couple Canucks, but it would be Sergachev's goal, and the Utah Mammoth would take a 1-0 lead. And he would add another as he would get the puck from the point, or at the point, he would fire it on goal, and Nick Schmaltz would tip it in, and the Utah Mammoth would take a 2-0 lead. But the Vancouver Canucks would strike back as Lekermack would pass the puck to Aatu Räty. He would skate down the ice. He would cut to the left side, fire it on goal. It'd be tipped by Archie Baines and in, and the Vancouver Canucks would pick up one. It would be Baines' first of the season. Aatu Räty, by the way, we're going to be hearing his name a little bit this week, as that is the first goal for the Vancouver Canucks, but the Utah Mammoth would, of course, get a couple more. Starting off on a 3-on-2, the puck would be sent back to Stedland. He would make a move to the backhand, and he would slide it in past Kevin Lankinen, and the Utah Mammoth would be up 3-1, and then John Marino would pick up the empty netter for shooting at the length of the ice, and the Vancouver Canucks would lose 4-1 to the Utah Mammoth in a game where I think everyone, including myself, feels like they outplayed the Utah Mammoth, had a good amount of chances, looked like a very good cohesive team, but just couldn't get the bounces, just couldn't get the luck, and I do attribute one of them being a 2-1 game. One thing I will complain about the refs, that pull down on Connor Garland, with it being a 2-1 game, them going back shortly after and scoring the 3-1 goal. If that's a power play called for Vancouver, it erases the 3-1 deficit. We could have a chance to tie the game, but you got to capitalize on your chances, and you're going to get screwed from time to time by the refs. You're going to get screwed time to time by your luck. But if you're able to capitalize on your chances, you're going to be able to win the game. The Vancouver Canucks just weren't able to capitalize. And I just thought they had a good game, and it's just that they didn't get the lucky break. And so what? Let's move into a game against the Minnesota Wild, where right before game time, it would be announced that Elias Pettersson would not play due to an upper body injury. He would go out for warm-ups, but then he felt like he couldn't play. And we would be down our number 1, 2, and 3 centers for this game. We've been down 2-3 for a while, but now we're down 1, and we're down to just Aatu Räty as our first-line center. And for some reason, he's a first-line center all of a sudden. As after a power play for the Vancouver Canucks, the Minnesota Wild would start off with a goal, as they would go in on a 2-on-1, and Matthew Boldy would pick it up, and it would be a 1-0 lead. And Philip Gustafsson would go into this game shutting out 3 consecutive Canadian teams, but the Canucks would strike back and get one. They would end the streak as Tom Wiklander would pick one up, as Linus Karlsson would skate in. He would send it to Wiklander in the slot. He would cut in, and he would fire it for his first career goal. Let's go! I've been so high on this kid ever since he's gone to came up from the NHL, and he looks awesome. He picked up his first career goal. He's on like 35-point pace, I think. He looks amazing. The Vancouver Canucks would get another one. The Vancouver Canucks would get another goal, surprisingly, as 2 shots later, the puck would go to the point off the faceoff. Wiklander would send it to DPD, and bang! DPD would fire it in, and the Vancouver Canucks would have a 2-1 lead against one of the hottest teams in the NHL, and one of the best goalies in the NHL. And we would get a 3-1 lead as Aatu Räty would skate in on a 2-on-1, and he would snipe it with a wrist shot after getting a goal disallowed. The Vancouver Canucks have a 3-1 lead. The Vancouver Canucks are doing something. Plan the parade. Obviously, I'm joking. I'm overreacting, but it's awesome to see these young guys go out and show out against a team like the Minnesota Wild. It's just so fun to see. And they weren't done, as Jesper Wallstedt would bobble the puck behind the net. Aatu Räty would pick it up and put it in on a wraparound, and the Vancouver Canucks would be up 4-1 against the Minnesota Wild. Oh man, I'm getting too excited. I'm going to take the wins when we can get them, right? If we get a nice, cool win like this, you got to be excited with how this team's been playing this season. Matt Zuccarello would get one, though, and it was a really nice shot on a 6-on-4. We would skate in, and he would snipe it. Man, it was just a really nice shot from Matt Zuccarello. But the Vancouver Canucks would win 4-2, and we go 1-2 in the week, but we beat Minnesota Wild, one of the best goal teams in the league, one of the highest goaltenders. I'm going to say that a lot, but yes! we beat the Minnesota Wild. What a fun week for the Vancouver Canucks, although I do think it's always fun to watch Nathan MacKinnon play. I thought that Utah game was a little upsetting because we weren't getting our chances, but it's still a fun game. We were getting chances. It was close all the way till up to the end, and we beat the Minnesota Wild. I enjoyed this week. Honestly, I'm just having more fun with Canucks hockey if you just treat it not as a joke, but like you joke around with it a little bit more. You take the wins where you can get them, and you appreciate the other team's other players sometimes, like Nathan MacKinnon, Dylan Guenther. He is so fun to watch. Logan Cooley's so fun to watch. Kirill Kaprizov's so fun to watch. Everyone else on Minnesota. No, I'm kidding. Matthew Boldy. I really like Matthew Boldy as well. But yeah, just find the ways to enjoy the game. That's all I'm going to say with how the Vancouver Canucks have been playing. Let's move into the news. And the news is pretty simple. I mean, there's 2 things. Jonathan Leckerbeck, he got sent down. He did play center last game. He got sent down to Abbotsford. Could that mean Niels Hoglander is coming back? I haven't heard anything suggesting that Niels Hoglander is coming back. I'm just going to check my news source just in case there's a thing about it. And no, I don't see anything about Niels Hoglander coming back, but you know what? That could be a thing. especially with Elias Pettersson going down with injury. If he were to go on IR, it wouldn't be smart to send Lekkerimäki down. So obviously Pettersson's injury is not as big as we thought. Sending Lekkerimäki down. He did not play in Abbotsford tonight. I'm not sure when he got sent down, but he did not play in Abbotsford tonight. I was there at the game. Didn't play. And, but yeah, I think Niels Hoglander could be pretty close. If that's what that means, awesome. Right as Elias Pettersson goes down, the one player I wanted to see him with, especially with how Petey's been playing. But yeah, the other bit of news is that Elliot Friedman said that not Detroit, Detroit has been a part of it, but the New Jersey Devils have inquired about Quinn Hughes when the memo went to the league that Canucks were willing to sell off veterans. A lot of people are taking it bigger than I think that people should. The Devils would be stupid not to call about Quinn Hughes. Like, one of the league's greatest defensemen is available right now. Now, we don't need him. We don't need him. Like, his two brothers play here. We don't need him. You know what I mean? We shouldn't just give them a call. Well, I mean, Quinn Hughes is available. Like, oh, the Canucks are selling off the veterans. Let's not see if Quinn Hughes is available. Let's just not inquire about it. Like, that sounds so stupid, right? Of course the Devils would give him a call. People are reading into it a little bit too much. And, yeah, I've seen a lot of non-Canucks fans being like, Quinn Hughes, it's definite. He's 100% going to leave. And you know what? You could be right. I could be delusional. I don't see it. I don't see anywhere where Quinn Hughes is like, one, has said, oh, I want to go play with my brothers, or anything that's not along the lines of, yeah, it would be cool if I play with my brothers one day. And Quinn Hughes just being like, yeah, I'm leaving. I haven't heard it from Quinn Hughes' mouth. I haven't heard it from Jim Rutherford's mouth. I'm not going to make any wild examples. For me right now is, teams are definitely going to inquire about Quinn Hughes because he is the greatest defenseman one of the greatest defensemen in the league right now. I'm going to get caught getting Cale Makar people in here. I really like Cale Makar. And he's, of course, teams are going to inquire about him, and of course he's going to be a trade talking point with how the Vancouver Canucks are, and, we could get a huge haul for him. When it happens, it happens. Let's wait for it to happen. That's it for the news. Let's hop into the 3 stars. The 3 stars of this week, we're going to start off at third, who actually started the game against the Minnesota Wild. He only started one game this week, but what a game he had. Nikita Tolopilo, we had a goalie finally back on here with a .933 save percentage and a .202 goals against average, and a big win for the young kid against Minnesota Wild. I say young kid, he's older than me, but yeah, a big win for him against the Minnesota Wild. It was great to see. I had to put him on this list. There's not a lot of big Canucks scorers at the moment, so I just put him on the list because. And then, second star, we have a guy who I've been behind since before the start of the season. You could go back. People were saying that Baines should be in the lineup. People were saying Sasson should be in the opening night lineup. I was saying that the second star of this week, Linus Karlsson, with 1 goal, 1 assist for 2 points, should be in the lineup from day one. He has shown out, and he looked really good on the line with Elias Pettersson when Evander Kane was out. I do think that if his speed gets up, he has the tools to become a decent middle 6 guy. Maybe top 6, but I think middle 6 is the low bar to go reach. If he adds some speed, he could seriously be a good threat for this Vancouver Canucks team, and he's putting up good points, and I'm really happy. I thought he was the best player on Abbotsford last season. He was the best player in terms of points in the playoffs last season. He deserves all the recognition he's getting right now. And the first star of the week is Aatu Räty with 2 goals, 3 assists for 5 points. By far the best Canuck this week by 3 points. He had 1 more goal than everybody else and 2 more assists than everybody else. Aatu Räty showed up to play this week, and it's nice to see. This is a guy that we're hoping could develop into a potential 2C, a potential second line center. But honestly, a high-end third line center is probably what he's going to reach at this moment. It would be nice for him to be a second line center, but Aatu Räty has played great. Awesome to see what we've been seeing from Aatu Räty this week. But let's hop into who do the Canucks play next week. So next week, the Vancouver Canucks play the Detroit Red Wings on Monday the 8th and the 11th on Thursday, the Buffalo Sabres. Only 2 games, so not that big of a video next week for this week at CanucksLand. But yeah, it's going to be hopefully a fun week. They do play the New York Rangers and the New York Islanders Tuesday and Friday after playing the Devils on Sunday. The Devils on Sunday is what I was trying to say. They're both home games against Detroit and Buffalo, so that's nice to see. But yeah, without further ado, that is it. If you're a CanucksLand and you're a CanucksLand, if you're a Canucks fan and you enjoy this video, enjoy this kind of content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've set a goal to try to hit 500 subscribers by the end of this regular season. It'd mean a lot if you hit the subscribe button, leave a like below, and comment your thoughts on this week. But yeah, the video on your right is the video from Friday. The video on your left is the video from Monday. Subscribe's right down to there. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.